O worm of many teeth, canst thou deny what has no cure? The flesh and breath which lure thee to the ground of all beginnings feed on monsters twisting in a door of fire. Thou hast no robe in all thy attire to cover intoxications of divinity or hide the burnings of desire. Worm Song from the Dune book. Welcome back to Dune Saga, everyone. This is season 3 of our Dune campaign here on the Stolen Fires channel. I am Eric at Modern Recluse Online, your games master for this epic multi-arc adventure series, which continues tonight with our 5th storyline, Leviathan. A very warm welcome and salutation to new and old viewers alike to the Stolen Fires channel here on Twitch, where there's always a Let's Play or an RPG live play to look forward to. As a content warning, this program does feature adult situations and language and may not be suitable for all ages, so listener discretion is advised. Special music shoutouts go to Pixabay, Infraction, aka Kevin McLeod for Midnight Tale, Repulsive Sound, The Whole Other, Tabletop Audio, and Blear Moon for the use of their excellent music. You can find more awesome ambient sounds and tunes over at inaudio.org, secretpress.bandcamp.com, music.youtube.com, pixabay.com/music, and SoundCloud. Many thanks to Modifius Entertainment for making awesome games for us to play. I want to thank Roll20 for the use of their virtual tabletop platform, which is perfect for hosting games like Dune Adventures in the Imperium. And as always, a big thanks to our viewers and fans for tuning in. Our house entourage is here and ready to engage in the deadliest of intrigues. Agents of the Imperium, remind our audience who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this evening. Beginning with Aaron.
Hello, everyone. I am Aaron. My pronouns are anything except he, him. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Great Cthulhu in some fashion. Tonight, I will be playing Eloise Cheshire, who I'm sure will have no consequences from having Harkonnen Mentat killed.
None whatsoever. Key.
Hello, I'm Kisama. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama. And tonight I am Pardot Reed, House Mentat.
Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I'm Ambrose. My pronouns are he or they. You can find me all over the internet as Am Changeling. You can find me on Etsy at Thornkind, and tonight I shall be playing Zoshir Tabr, who is he's not up to nothing, anything, something.
No murdering him. Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo, and you can find me at Leo of the Black here on Twitch, and where I play video games, do things like that. Other than that, today I'll be playing Archibald, and this is all I gotta say. Pirate King Archibald, or we riot.
Evan.
Hello all. I am Devin. You can find me online until it is still there at the Bird app on at Sort of Sullied. And tonight I am Mother Norma.
Last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello, my name is Rachel. You can find me Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet, including the Bird app until that goes extinct. Also MySpace because it's 2022. So, and I play Lady Daphne, who is getting up to some shit with Norma right now.
Yes, she is. Excellent. If you would be so kind, Ambrose, to read the recap from last week.
Yes. We open on the crash site and its investigation. Eloise grins as she lands, saying something about guests arriving. Meanwhile, Pardot examines the device currently held by Alexei. It's both the Ornithopter black box and a source of the explosion. Pardot, as a house member, easily understands what happened. Alexei does not, but it's only a matter of time. And with more black boxes yet to be found. Pardot keeps up his previous act, annoying Alexei with his obviously stupid questions. Frustrated, Alexei orders Pardot elsewhere. Meanwhile, Amira warns the Fremen to stay hidden before meeting with Eloise, and letting her know the spice bribe has returned. Eloise has two plans. One is to accuse the Harkonnen of stealing directly. The other is to blame Ofcardis. Sharing this plan with Tiberius, the other man is unsure. He is reluctant to do anything without Lady Daphne's direct orders. The Harkonnen have a taste for blood today, after all. Eloise agrees and sends a quick message to her guild contacts before calling Daphne. While Daphne speaks to Pardot, Eloise tries another tactic. She pulls up a series of seemingly innocuous numbers. They're strangely hypnotic, lulling Eloise into a trance, a vision, a swarm of ornithopters, a harvester, a flame, a sinkhole, a conflagration, a column, a fire, atomics. As Eloise processes, Daphne comments to Pardot that the Harkonnen probably won't buy that. Sometimes Cheshire ornithopters just do that when turned against Cheshires. A second black box is found, right as Eloise confronts Alexei with what she's learned, and threatens to send the information to the Landsraad. But Alexei dismisses these as empty threats, and Eloise too. While all this unfolds, Tiberius has a request of Zoshir. He's never felt so at home as he did while at the Fremen siege. He'd like to petition them for membership. Zoshir says that'll be up to the siege, an answer which satisfies the man for now. Back at Hagaharg, Zoshir reports his success to the siege's Sayadina. Not only has the spice bribe returned, but Zoshir learned much about the relationship between House of Cardis and Cheshire. He cannot answer for sure if the Cheshires can be trusted. They are worthy fighters, but trustworthy? However, with Harkonnen cracking down on Fremen, the Sayadina says they need allies and sends Zoshir to continue making inroads. Zoshir accepts, a little reluctantly. He also tells his Sayadina of Masum and his apparent importance. This intrigues her, and she gives him another task: to find out more. That and why Daphne carried herself like a Sayadina. Speaking of Daphne, her thopter lands just outside the Harkonnen palace, the air thick with smog, and the architecture a copy of that found on Gidi Prime. Chosa Sen, walking with a slight limp, greets the new arrivals and gets directly to business. Leading the entourage into a dark, cool meeting room, she reveals the purpose of the summons. Spice production is down, in part due to attacks by Fremen and sandworms. The Emperor is not pleased. Thus, a 2-month-long hunt has been called to take down a rare albino worm called the White Death. Leading this hunt will be Captain Fomos Salgalat, who lost an entire harvester to the worms. Every vassal house must contribute to this hunt. After all, the spice must flow. Those who distinguish themselves will be personally rewarded. Daphne observes the others, who mostly look appalled. Nuri Randama catches her glance, the woman she saved from Raban's meal of snakes. As the two catch up, Norma subtly tests Daphne's wine and hors d'oeuvres for poison, while Dr. Sloan seems enraptured by a hologram of the White Death. Norma needn't have bothered, not with the wine at least, for someone bumps into Daphne and causes her to spill down the front of her dress. He apologizes profusely, promising to pay any cleaning fee. He's Nikolai of House Aglis, and Daphne quickly understands he did this on purpose. Gliss is a house excellent at Conley, and Nikolai invites Daphne to meet him later at the Silky Sandworm. No sooner does he take his leave than another of House Gliss, Nad Kazot, introduces himself to Daphne and speaks of how mystified he is regarding what Raban is asking of them. Daphne insinuates this is a ploy. Raban plans to analyze each house's capabilities and alliances no matter the outcome. As they chat, Norma catches rumors by the servants about a captive Fremen deep in the dungeons. Cut to outer space. Yeva whips out her sidearm and listens intently at the door. "The one time you didn't bring your Varangian guard," she quips. Archibald hears 6 people moving as a unit through the corridors. Trained, not pirates. They need to hide, but this cabin isn't built for that. 3 mercenaries burst into the room, lasguns ready. What choice do they have but surrender? The pair are brought to the central concourse where the other captives wait on their knees. Archibald spots 2 leaders, a woman wearing guild headgear and a man who's clearly a cyborg. Among the captives, he sees even Chom representatives, along with a man Archibald vaguely recognizes, one wearing a familiar, elaborate hat. It's the former house smuggler, Davos. That's when he hears, "Commander on deck," as a man wearing armor and an eye patch walks in. Addressing the captives, he says they are the forgotten children, here to take back what is theirs. They're done paying for their father's sins, and now this commandeered highliner is en route to Tupile, the home of fallen houses. Once they arrive, the captives must join or die. Yeva whispers they need a distraction so they can slip away and retake control of the navigator. Back on Arrakis, Pardot and Eloise are eyeballs deep in Harkonnen bullshit. Pardot loops Tiberius, but not Eloise in on his plan involving poisoned sappho juice. Elsewhere, Eloise meets with Hina, delivering the bribe and news of who knows about it. She blames Harkonnen for using the fallen of Cardis as cover, and further reveals her visions of the Harkonnen plan to use a stone burner if they don't get what they want. Hina knows of the atomics and also what moving directly against Raban would cost. "Kill Alexei," she orders. Eloise then collects Pardot Reed and reveals those orders. Well, that's useful for Pardot. Eloise then reveals her visions, including the 3-sided battle between Atreides and Harkonnen, with Cheshire in the middle. That's definitely of interest to the Cheshire Mentat. At the palace, they see Alexei hard at work analyzing the black boxes. A small, black-cloaked child presses a vial into Pardot's hand. This is the long game he's been working towards. Approaching Alexei, he offers a stuttering apology before returning the vial of sappho juice. The last thing Pardot sees before fake waddling out of the room is Alexei taking a nice, long swig. Meanwhile, Belanda delivers a scrambled recording of De Vries to Alexei's private quarters. The timing works out well. Zoshir, Hurdy, Nelia, and Amira depart to Sietch. Amira reports to Eloise and learns the guildwoman's orders. Well, that's just ducky. Amira invites the Fremen to help revenge themselves on a Harkonnen spice thief. They find Alexei just as the poison begins to take effect, and his pleas for mercy are unheeded as Zoshir draws his crysknife. Meanwhile, on Carthag, Marwyn Stib of House Ronnet is inclined to trust both God and the Harkonnen, while Nodkazot of Gliss believes doing so is political suicide. Tala Umin of House Haldin is worried over the danger, while Nuri Randama focuses on the consequences for failure. Daphne points out that this is more performance than hunt. They agree to retire for the evening. Alone, Norma whispers to Daphne what she learned of the Fremen captive. Perhaps it's time to get lost among the confusing Harkonnen architecture. After seeing the shielded doorways, Daphne suggests finding a servant for help. Norma notices how many servants bear the injuries of beatings and other abuse. She promises a scarred servant work elsewhere for help reaching the dungeons. The servant agrees and takes them to a dumbwaiter leading down into the dungeons. This is clearly a place of suffering and trauma. The servant leads Norma and Daphne to a chained Fremen who seems suspicious at first. But Norma uses Kyra's name and his mind changes. He is Hurin, the son of Naib Arar of Sietch Tabr. Back on the Highliner, Archibald uses a vial of neurotoxin to poison the servant and create a distraction. He and Yeva vanish to the merchant suites and plan their next move. The navigator, of course. But cutscene. The navigator, floating in their spice gas chamber, says, "You must uphold your end of the bargain. You know what I risk for doing this." The other man, Reese, agrees. They will both walk away from this. The navigator will be free of the guild, and Reese will be free of the Imperium.
Thank you for reading that, Ambrose, and thank you, as always, Rachel, for taking excellent notes. Very well then. We can now begin, and we can continue with Leviathan. I'm going to start with Daphne. You and Norma decided to get lost among the Harkonnen architecture in Carthag, and you found perhaps something a little bit more than you were expecting. You found the son of a Naib held captive by the Harkonnens, tortured perhaps, but alive in the bowels of this dungeon. The person who brought you here, the servant, quickly recedes into the background as you and Norma both take in the details of this captive. He seems to be a fairly broad-shouldered man, because this is the Harkonnens, and this is so far in the future. They don't actually use physical, restraints that are chained to the wall. I say chained, but like he has like these metal things around his wrists and his ankles. But he seems to be akimbo in the middle, just floating in the middle of the air. It seems to be they use some sort of like a magnetic mechanism that sort of just keeps him held in place. So while it may not be impossible to move him from such a position, it may be difficult to do so just because of the technology that's being employed. And also, of course, there's the force field that's in the way between the threshold and the inside of the cell itself. Which can only typically be accessed by a Harkonnen with the right genetic material when they use the palm lock. The floor is yours. What do you do, Norma? As the servant is sort of receding away from the scene, like, okay, I got you here. You know the way back. Okay, bye.
As there's some form.
Wait, how do you get past this?
Oh, you need to you need to use the palm lock, or you need to have the correct combination code to get past the field.
What's the
I
code?
apologize. I do not know these things.
How does he get fed?
The guards typically do so once a week, typically. He seems somewhat emaciated, this man. I mean, obviously he's native-born Fremen. He's got blue within blue eyes. But his muscles seem somewhat... what's the word I'm looking for?
Atrophied.
Atrophied, thank you. Yes. And so, like, his rib cage is showing a little bit. Like, he's obviously somewhat showing signs of dehydration and malnutrition and obvious torture.
Malnourished.
Yes.
A little emaciated. Okay.
He seems to notice you. He can hear you. He kind of, like, lifts his head and looks at you.
Is the servant Fremen? Does she have the blue on blue eyes?
No. She is a
Okay.
direct transplant from Gidi Prime to here. You can tell they all look the same. They're all pale and bald and hairless for the most part. Somewhat androgynous. So they're sort of like shrinking away from you. Like, okay, I don't want to get caught and killed here. It's up to you what you want to do here. If you want to try to go further than this and try to free this captive. They claim to be the son of a Naib.
Do you have any ideas, Norma?
Okay, so you said there's a palm lock. Is there a way that I could bypass the palm lock to open the door?
Sure. You got any technical skills underneath understand? Any focuses?
I don't. I only have other memory to rely on if I have an ancestor that might have helped make the palm lock or bypass it or try and trick out.
Highly
palm locks.
unlikely, as other memory typically is reserved for lore and knowledge of other things, not like what last week's code was.
Oh no, I was just meaning like the structure of the device to see if I could find a way to basically trick it to opening.
You'd have to you'd have to essentially hotwire the junk to work if you wanted to do something like that. If you have it would help if you have a focus in understand or a high understand that would enable you to get in there.
No, not that good.
Bypass it. The son of a Naib, you would imagine, would have pretty decent security as far as that's concerned. What about you, Daphne? You can still talk to the captive, or you can try to bypass the lock, or just get out of there if you wish.
So my understand is pretty good, but I have nothing technical.
You can try.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and try.
Okay. 4.
Oh goodness.
Okay, can I throw the assisting roll?
You can. You can roll to assist, but when you assist, you also take part in the consequences as well, Norma.
Mm-hmm. Could you get to 4 without help?
You have currently, as far as momentum is concerned, you have 2 momentum, and I of course have my full allotment of threat.
Recommend using it.
There's always that sweet determination too.
Yeah.
That is true.
Captain sort of sees you both and takes stock of a Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother and this fine-looking woman and this finery, and he's just kind of like, "Are you here to taunt me or to release me?"
Ideally, we're here to release you. Do you know how?
No, I do not know. But perhaps you can persuade one of the men who works this ward to relinquish his code.
Have you noticed any who seem open to subordination?
Kind of chuckles under his breath. Harkonnen opens his subordination. I hear you witches have ability to entrance one's mind. Is that true? What they say about you? looks to Norma.
Given
and
the
says
right
that.
persuasion, everyone is liable for insubordination,
Even Harkonnens?
especially Harkonnens.
Well, then there's your answer. If you get me out of here, I promise to reward you. So will my father.
We're not really doing this for a reward, but... Alright, I'm gonna try and make that understand roll. And let's go with justice, because this is unjust. And I will...
Perfect.
How many dice do I get for spending 2 momentum?
It's 1 for 1
You can
and
only
then 3
spend the
for
one.
2.
Yeah.
Alright. I will spend 1 momentum.
Very good.
I'm not using a focus. Oh, fuck my life.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That looks like my roll from yesterday, my very first
Were
one.
you wanting to use, or do you have a statement attributed to justice that you can spend a determination point for?
I must shield those in my care.
So you can spend a determination point and get 2 automatic successes, which would give you 3, but not the 4 that you need.
Which means
Norma,
I
you
get
haven't
to
rolled
roll.
yet, have you?
Yeah, no, I have not. I was waiting to see just how close we were getting. All right. Oh,
Telling you,
Yeah.
don't fail.
what must be done must be done. Here's my duty. Here's my 1 die.
Use a momentum, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you
can't.
can on
You
this
can't use
roll.
Yeah, I was gonna
momentum.
say I don't think I can. It's a boosted roll.
Gotcha.
And I clicked and success.
Got a success. Okay, good. That's 4 successes. However, you have 2 complications here. Oh, everyone who has injury listed on their character sheet, you can get rid of that now. There's been enough time that you've been able to cover. Almost forgot to do that.
Does that include
but
our
yes.
little our controlled characters, like the?
Yes, that
Okay.
includes your agent characters as well. Yes, as well as you got it. You can take those 2 complications, Daphne, or you can pay me in thread. What would you like?
I really, really don't want complications in the Harkonnen
Okay.
dungeon, so I'll take the threat.
That's 4 threat. Wow. 2 each. Okay. Very good. All right. So this goes off without a hitch. You almost trigger the alarm, but then Norma remembers something and it's like, no, wait. Here, you do this. And in that time, the servant who got you down here disappears. Just soundless like a mouse, just like moves away and disappears. You do manage to short out the field enough that it dissipates and you're able to walk through without alerting the Harkonnens, at least as far as you can tell.
Can you walk?
Perhaps. It's been a while since I've been able to walk, he says. Do you enter the room or do you stand at the threshold?
Can you free yourself?
No, I cannot move. Do you have water?
Do I have water?
Probably not. You just attended a function that had like champagne. You may have like your sifter or whatever handy if you do that kind of thing, making it appear like you're drunk and like confused.
No water, but I can bring you to water. Is it safe to cross the threshold? Whatever. I'll step across.
Yeah. You step
I'll
across.
stay back.
Okay. Daphne, your hyper
Don't need
awareness.
both of us in there.
No, you stay out and you're looking around just to keep a lookout, Norma. As soon as you step inside the cell, however, Daphne, you notice that you're not alone with him. There's another person here, except that they're on the floor and they're dead. They've been dead for some time. It's only now that you're inside and you're walking in this darkness that your eyes begin to adjust and your hyper awareness makes you aware that there is a body right down there, right near where this man is, who's hovering in the air. You do?
I'm sorry about your friend.
He says nothing in response.
Is it, like, can I tell from what the body is wearing? Is it servant, Fremen?
Harkonnen
The
torturer.
person, yeah, the person who's on the floor dead, appears just as disrobed as the Fremen that you're here to purportedly free. They're sort of doubled over with their back to you, but they're very clearly dead. They're not moving.
All right. In that case, I cannot help the dead, so I will focus on trying to free this man from the magnetic fields that are trapping him.
Okay, those are easy. You have an 8 understand, so it's not terribly difficult to figure this out. Unlike the palm lock on the field door, but you go over to the sides where these modules are installed onto the walls, and they have dials and things that you can manipulate to lessen the magnetic pull on his arm and leg guards. You do so, and you see like it lessens to such an effect that he falls and collapses on the floor, and there's a loud clang as like his metal manacles hit the bare, cold concrete, plasticrete ground. And he struggles to try to get up, and to get up on his elbows enough to be able to move. He's going to need help getting out of here.
Yeah.
And he's not dressed appropriately. I mean, he's not naked. He does have like what appear to be like torn trousers on, or actually the remnants of what seems to be a still suit that was ripped away.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything we can take off the body to, like, disguise him?
The corpse?
Mm-hmm.
You search the corpse somewhat. This one is completely naked, you notice. When you turn him over to search to see if there's anything on his person, there's just what appears to be a flechette, a poisoned flechette shot right here, dead in the chest. 3 little prongs that stick out. Looks like he was just shot at very close range and killed.
Is there still poison on the flechette?
You don't know.
I'll take it anyway, just in case.
You pluck the flechette things out of his chest.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you see the guy who's back you've turned to, he's like, no, leave those there. Do not touch the body.
All right. I won't. But we've got to get you out of here somehow.
Like you managed to get him out of his manacles, and as you're working on the body, he physically grabs your arm, pulls. He's like, no, don't touch it. And then Norma, you hear and see this as well. If you'd like to react.
What's wrong with the body?
Forget about the body. We're going to get out of here.
Yes, let's focus on that. All right. We'll take you the way the servant showed us.
He nods. He needs one of you to help him move because he's been injured in such a way and he's malnourished enough that he's going to be limping out of here. Which one of you helps carry him?
I'll give him my shoulder.
Okay.
Right.
He seems appreciative and somewhat surprised that someone of your standing would be, like helping somebody of his stature out of here and freeing him. Essentially, this is a high crime. So he's just like, when you look into his eyes, he almost seems like on edge, like this is some sort of trap, like this is some sort of like 3-dimensional chess game that the Harkonnens are playing with me now. Like, what is this? And he's like looking for like the hidden he's waiting for the other shoe to drop, but as you exit the threshold of the cell, he looks back one last time to the dead body in the room, and he whispers something underneath his breath. You will need to make a discipline observation roll if you want to listen to what he's saying.
I
Otherwise-
do.
Okay.
Indeed.
Would observe be an applicable focus?
Sure.
Body control or espionage?
Yeah, body control. Body control. Hold on a second. I need to roll something because he doesn't want to give away the story here.
Oh, that's much better.
This is for truth.
Nice.
3. Focus.
Got it by 2.
Oh.
dang.
Oh.
Normal, you rolled after the fact, but you do net. Let's see, that's 3.
I was further
plus
away.
1, so you get 1 momentum back from that. Norma, you by virtue of proximity, you hear what he is saying, and he says something to the effect of like, "My apologies, brother. He's like, we will retrieve your body for your father at a later time. Your water will be returned to your truck."
Okay.
You take him to the dumbwaiter, the same way that you got in.
Yeah.
I need stealth rolls for the both of you, please.
All right. Let's see.
Don't die now.
Threshold.
That would be move.
Yes, this would be moving. If you have a stealth focus, that would be that as well. I'm rolling for the. Yep, this is your post. Just 1 die.
I get to reduce my difficulty by 2.
I'm gonna use.
Wait, no, that's through difficult terrain.
No, because my move
one.
is so bad.
Just
It's
one.
4.
Just 1.
Oh God.
Oh, you got 1.
Not a lot. You
Okay.
need 3 successes.
Okay. Well, I'm using Prana Bindu to re-roll
Wow.
that 14.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also
very
got
good. Very good. Okay.
Got points.
Hey.
And I get to re-roll the
Oh.
19. So let's see.
I rolled a 5.
Oh.
That's a success. So that gives you 3 successes, I believe. It's 2.
Hey, we have to-
well,
we
between
have
the
to-
2 of you. Let's see. You got 2 successes, Norma, and
2 successes, no complication.
Daphne got how many total? 2.
2 as well.
Oh my! Did you want to use a momentum? Either one of
Oh,
you.
yeah.
There's
How
2
many?
left.
Did we get some from Norma rolling 6 successes? Okay. Ah.
Rough.
Shit. Well,
And we have to have 3.
You guys got
so
wait,
how about
2.
I have already given Eric threat, so I take the momentum and you take the threat.
Plus 2 threat.
Oh. 1 second. Norma, did you go ahead while you're figuring this out? Go ahead and roll me a discipline observation,
All right.
and just let me know if it's better than 2.
It's best of 3 with focus. It is a 2.
That's better than 2. So now you have 3 momentum if you wish to use them. I forgot to do that earlier because I only just read your secret messages. Hold on 1 second. You may go ahead and re-roll or use an additional die if you want to pay for the momentum to roll and get that extra 3rd success that you need. That goes for both of you.
All right.
Yes, another 5.
Oh, even worse.
Oh. No, Norma,
Oh,
no.
jeez.
Okay.
Okay,
That's a
so now you have
crit.
to make a choice.
Determination
Unless you want to pay me
point.
in threat. Lots of
De-
threat.
Determination point.
Oh, is that so?
Yes,
Is,
and
what
now
is this
I'm
linked with?
Oh wait. That is what must be done must be done. That's my duty statement. Because we have to get out quietly, or else we're all screwed.
Mmm.
And then I get to roll a d20 and hope that I get to keep it.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
maybe.
Very
Yeah, I got a
nice.
3.
Okay.
Nice.
So you both successfully made it so that you came within a hair's breadth as you're getting over to the dumb waiter. You hear one of the Harkonnen guards like dragging somebody down the hallway, and they hear some sort of commotion going on back there, so he look over their shoulder just as you manage to like squeeze into the niche where the dumbwaiter is located. And you kind of hold you all three of you hold your breath collectively as the Harkonnen's like, "You keep quiet down there." And he continues to drag his prisoner to one of the cells on the opposite end of the hallway. Afterwards, you all breathe a sigh of relief, and you open the dumbwaiter and all crawl in together, helping one another to get in. How are you going to pass this guy off in the Harkonnen Palace in Carthag? And where will you take him after you exit the dungeons, Daphne?
That's a great question.
Can I sneak him into my private chambers?
You may certainly do that.
Okay.
Norma, are you assisting in doing this and
so
taking this Fremen away?
Norma is going to do the best thing Norma can do. Norma is going to get back into her robes by going back to that place where I swapped clothing out.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I changed out of being in Bene Gesserit robes when we went to downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick up my robes and give him what I was wearing, the servant's clothes that I had taken.
Nice. Excellent. Hold on a second.
All right. If he's wearing servant's clothes, then that gives us a lot more freedom.
Emaciated Fremen, servant of the Harkonnens, same thing.
You managed to disguise him sufficiently and get him over to your quarters. You use your palm lock to open up the door, and inside it's a well-furnished room with a large bed, and a curtain that kind of falls over the sides and stuff. Something, that is adequate for some, a visiting noble.
So
shut the door behind you, and he's just kind of like, "Oh, please, water." Lips are cracked.
I'm sure that they would have provided water.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's totally not poison, so you take it and serve him some.
That would be a scandal.
And Harkonnens? My goodness. Yeah, you pour him a glass, and he's just like, he gulps it down, and he's like, "I owe you my life." Hands the cup back to you. Norma, do you do or say anything?
You owe us the truth.
Observe? I'm sorry.
What really happened?
He looks at both of you. You realize, Daphne, what Norma's implying is that this man has lied to you from the beginning. That he is not, in fact, the son of a Naib.
Does this have to be done right now, Norma?
Do you trust a man that lies to you from the beginning?
Considering the circumstances we found him in.
Considering what we've already told him. It's rather prevalent, to be honest.
So Daphne will look back to him and say the only thing he's told us is his name.
And his name is a lie.
He looks somewhat pityingly at you, Daphne, when Norma accuses him of being a liar. Is it really that important?
We would have rescued him no matter who he was.
This is what you wish.
If you manage to get me outside of the Harkonnen Citadel, I will tell you my name. And I will introduce you to my people.
That's good enough for me.
Now, are you going to keep this guy here overnight, or are you going to try to, like, wait until the right time to, like, board him on an ornithopter and secretly get him over to, like, the palace or some other place? What are your plans with him?
Daphne's thought is that this guy could definitely use some time to rest and recuperate. And at some point, it will make sense for Daphne to return to the Cheshire
Okay.
quarters. Um, and she explicitly asked, like, brought extra retinue.
Mm,
And it will be very easy just to have this
swap
guy
him out.
blend in among them.
Okay. He obviously, like you said, needs rest and recuperation, but there's only one bed in this chamber. I'll give him the use of your bed.
Awkward.
You give him use of the bathroom, he'll accept that as the bedroom.
No, he's been through trauma and clearly needs the bed more than Daphne, and Daphne has Prana Bindu, she'll be fine.
But
Yeah.
the bathroom has access to water.
So does the bedroom. You notice now that you're in these confines with the lighting in here is a little bit better. You see that he has markings along his skin that seem to be somewhat of a design of what you're not sure. You think maybe it's like a sandworm or something like that, but it's you kind of get lost in the design for a moment when you look at it. And he's like, "Thank you for what you risked for me." And I promise, I give you my word that I will give you all the truth that you seek once you get me out of here.
Of course. We'll have to be a little clever about it.
Do you say or do anything with Norma present outside of earshot, as far as like what your plans are concerned? Because he just kind of lays down on the bed and just kind of like lays out.
Well, we still have to get him to true safety. They're going to notice he's gone at some point. Oh shit, they're going to notice he's gone at some point.
Yes.
And someone will be punished for it. And the first thing that you think of is that little servant that led you down through the dumbwaiter.
Well, we
Someone
told her
always
where to
pays the
go
price.
to get picked up, right? I guess the question is if
To
she can
leave?
make it.
Yep.
Yeah, because Norma offered her
Where
a
would she
job
go?
if... Alright.
We've got like, out of character, we've probably got like good 4 hours max before I
Probably.
would say we need to be gone. Like, not leaving, gone.
Alright.
Yeah.
Norma,
At one point, they'll find out.
I should probably stay here. If I leave, it will look too suspicious. But you can leave, and you can take him with you.
GM question. Is the reason why we were called over, like that meeting basically telling us that we're here to hunt the great white worm, and that was it?
Yeah.
Is there any?
That's what the
there was
Harkonnens wanted.
There was no other reason for us to stay.
Well, there was supposed to be coordination between the minor houses that you met at that little luncheon thing. That's supposed to take place for brunch, but I mean, they're not going to sit out there in the heat and eat. That more than likely it's going to happen in the very late evening. So probably like very early in the morning while it's still dark outside and it's still cool. They've already arranged for at the top of the citadel is an open area that they've cordoned off, and that you can the retainers from the minor house can congregate there and have breakfast and look out over the city of Carthag while you make your plans and chit chat. You have 2 months to help hunt this worm, so you have time.
Okay. So you don't have to stay.
Not necessarily, but the other houses have made plans to meet later, very early in the morning, atop the citadel to discuss plans over essentially breakfast, very early breakfast.
All right, then.
So, is there time to make it from where we are to Cheshire and back before that happens?
to Arachene, it'll take at least a few hours to get there and then to get back again. So if you leave now, you'll probably be getting back by sunrise, and by then it might be a little too late. However, if you stay and Norma takes him with her, they can get there very easily in just a few hours. If she doesn't have to make a return trip for your stratagem meeting with these other houses.
That was going to be my idea for just a small retinue with myself, because that way it's a Bene Gesserit leaving. You still have a whole cadre with you, so that you don't look like you just ran away. It's just a Bene Gesserit
is leaving. Mother is leaving with a okay.
That's the thing that happens all the time.
Like a uniform, a house soldier uniform or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I feel like we need to dress him up as in he needs to spend some time in front of a mirror, and somebody needs to make him look a little less 3 months in the dungeon.
It doesn't look like it's been that long. It's been maybe a couple weeks from what you can tell.
Either way, he needs to look a little bit better, so somebody needs to dress him up and actually make him look appropriate for a servant or somebody following a non-Harkonnen around.
Sure. You guss him up as best as you can. He still needs help getting to an ornithopter in this particular case, but you managed to pull it off successfully. One of the Harkonnen soldiers looks and sees this guy in uniform. It's like, what's his problem?
None of his business. It's none of his business.
I was going to say, Reverend Mother just looks up at him and says, the same thing that can be your problem, if you wish.
And kind of like turns away and leaves. Yeah, you get him aboard, and you manage to you know how to work an ornithopter. You can do it yourself and fly it over to it's the same one that you flew in on, so you fly it back to Arachene. On the way over, he's like, I appreciate what you've done for me. I've never thought I would thank a Bene Gesserit before, but you are highly regarded in our culture. I am not, as I said, Hurin, son of Arar, and I do owe you my life. So, ask me what you wish to know, and I will tell you the truth.
You don't owe me your life. You owe me your water.
You know our ways. Where are you taking me?
I'm taking you back to the Cheshire House compound.
To the residency? An Arachene?
Yes.
The palace? I know it. May I know your name?
I thought I told him.
Oh, no.
I'm Norma. Oh, okay. I am Norma.
My pleasure, Norma. He's like, my name is not Hurin. He's like, my name is Stilgar Ben Fifrawi. Now we'll shift over to Eloise. Zoshir.
How the fuck are you gonna switch
I
over?
figured it out.
I
3
knew
minutes
it when
ago.
you said he was I knew it when you were saying that he was a handsome one.
I didn't say handsome. I just said he had designs on him.
What was the name?
No.
Stilgar. We just rescued Stilgar.
Oh my!
You specifically called him like handsome or muscular or something.
I said he's broad-chested and he had designs on. I didn't say anything else.
You said something that
you put that detail in your own mind, sir.
I knew you were going for Daphne somehow with it, but
Very good. All right, back and on the way to the Arachene Palace. Of course, we have the rest of our repertoire of our house retainers. So, you successfully disposed of a Harkonnen mentat on the premises of the palace in Arachene.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, of course. After the Fremen are finished with him, there's still the issue of his body, what to do with it. The Fremen would typically feed one like him to a worm out in the desert. They wouldn't necessarily bring him to the death stills of their siege, perhaps because they think maybe Harkonnen blood is somehow tainted. I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you, Zoshir, what you want to do with the Mentat's corpse, as it were. Hurdy and Nalia have different opinions, obviously, on what to do with the carcass of someone so vile.
He would like to know their opinions, actually.
Hurdy's like, take his water. Feast on his blood. And the blood of our enemies, yes? Nalia's like, that is disgusting.
It would be the best way to dispose of a body. And he
That's
could
a
actually...
long trip, Nalia says.
It is. He could do at least a little bit of good in his death.
These Cheshires are supposedly expert spy masters and assassins. Couldn't they dispose of the body instead? Why sully our hands any further?
This is true. I should speak with them beforehand, make sure that this is something that they would like.
And she nods. She cleans her blade and sheaths it. Same with Hurdy. And Hurdy, she's taken enough Harkonnen lives. She's like, when's breakfast? As you guys exit the Mentat's room. Pardot and Eloise are nearby, as you colluded to make this happen. Amira has reported to you, Eloise, that the Mentat has been disposed of, or at least he's dead now.
He's dead.
And now his body just needs disposing of.
We need to send a message, so we don't want the message to be the guild killed him, but a message that he was killed.
Amira is like, Fremen justice.
Yes.
They hang the Fremen captives in the streets of Karthak. Perhaps we should string him up as well here in Arakeen. Central Square, perhaps.
That sounds excellent. Eloise will turn to Pardot. I assume you can arrange one of your subordinates to make that happen?
Tiberius stands up and puffs his chest out.
I apologize, Mentat. I don't know if that's such a good idea. They are already massacring my people all the time. If they were to assume that this was completely Fremen doing, they may target us even more so.
Amira's like...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say, Eloise will turn and regard Zoshir. It's Zoshir, isn't it? Yes. They'll massacre your people no matter what. The Fremen are no better than beasts. Or sorry, the Harkonnen. The Harkonnen are no better than the Harkonnen are no better than beasts.
Etiquette.
Wow, true colors came out there for a second.
All I will require with the body to make sure that it is not traced back to the Fremen is time.
That's fine as well. It doesn't need to be traced to anyone in particular. And if Zoshir is worried about the consequences for the Fremen, even though I don't think it can get much worse, that's fine. Take your time. I just require that the body is found and that Rabban and the Harkonnens know that someone shouldn't be crossed.
Amira appeared to was about to say something, and then you finished her sentence for her, Eloise, so she just like smiles and defers to you. Pardot, you have anything to add to this?
I simply have one question. Why, if I went through all of this trouble to poison the man, did you stab him? Why was I not made aware of this part of the plan?
Was that what I saw back there? Poison? That didn't look like poison.
It was cathartic.
Some men deserve multiple deaths, Pardot, Reed.
I see. Very well, then.
I can take care of the body if you wish. Master Marshal Reed, you see Tiberius say.
Excellent. And Tiberius, before you do so, be sure to remove his kidneys.
What the fuck?
Of course.
Oh, Tiberius,
wish.
one little thing. And Eloise will reach into her and pull out like a little packet of melange. Put this into his mouth, please.
He kind of looks around the room. Any other requests?
Not from me, thank you. You've been very helpful.
Yes, he says. And he kind of, motions for the Fremen to come aid, move the body, and string him up. It will look more authentic if the Fremen help to string up his body and cut away his things or whatever. Long story short, you all, the four of you, Zoshir, the two Fremen, and Tiberius move off the premises. Tiberius brings a ground car, tinted windows and the like, hovers along the street, not making a sound, and he assists you in bagging up the body, bringing it out, and then taking it out into the central square, which is largely abandoned at this time of night. And you go through the process of setting up somewhere near the main near the marketplace, and he does a lot of the work as you finish, like opening him up and taking out his organs or whatever, and he stuffs the spice in his mouth and he uses like a little pulley system to just zip him all the way up, and he ties it. He leaves him there upside down with his entrails hanging out and stuff, and spice in his mouth, dead as a doornail. After he's finished, it takes the better part of an hour getting all this done, and then he offers to return you back to the residency if you wish to do so, unless you want to go off on your own and disappear, or whatever it is that you want to do while you're in the city. You technically have rooms now afforded to you at the residency should you decide to stay. Shared room.
I think Zoshir will begin to observe just like anyone who's available from House Cheshire who was there. He might inquire after Lady Daphne a bit more and about Mossum.
Do you ask Tiberius specifically while you're going back and forth?
Yes.
I will answer all of your questions if you will afford me what I have asked you in return. I wish to return with you to Hagahar. Is this a fair accord?
Yes.
Very good.
But
Allow me to return back to the palace, and I shall inform Marshal Reed of this. And we can proceed.
however, I cannot guarantee you membership in the Sietch. That is up to the Naib.
I understand, he says. He brings you back in. While this is happening, Pardot and Eloise, Amira is just like, now that we've disposed of this vile man, what are we to do about the Harkonnens? We've obviously sent, or the Fremen rather, have sent a message to them. What are we to communicate in this particular instance? That there was an intruder and Fremen spirited him away the same way they did Daphne?
I mean, she'll turn to Amira and smile and be like, we're not going to communicate anything. We have no responsibility of the guests in the House of Cheshire.
Agreed, but there will be inquiries, surely.
Of course, and we will deny.
I should have known before I asked. Oh, I got you something while I was in the marketplace recently, she says.
Oh?
It's a popular game, it seems, these days. Well, I say it's a
Mm.
game, but it seems more than that. She underneath the folds of her robes. You're in the confines of your private room, so she produces a pack. It seems like this little. Well, it's pretty big, like this, and it looks like a pack of playing cards, but they're larger than normal playing cards. She breaks it open, and she takes out a deck, and when she puts it down, you realize it's the name of the thing is called the Dune Tarot. And on the back, there's an inscription of this gold foil-looking sandworm-looking thing, and each one of them reveals an image associated with Dune and the Fremen that reside on it. A lot of people use it for fortune telling. She says with a smile. It's a novelty gift, she says.
It's I think her face like blanches for a second because she like thinks about the literal visions she's had, and then like recovers quickly. Shall I read you or should you read me?
Yes. And you take that time to just do whatever. Pardot, as you're cleaning up in your and making your way over to your quarters, you do notice that there is someone lurking about down the hallways. It's the woman that you aided in the great banquet room when everything happened recently, with the unpleasantness of the Harkonnen Mentat and his guard. She motions you. She beckons for you to approach. Pardot Reed, she says. That is your name, yes?
Yes. What is it?
I wanted to thank you for what you did, what you and your house did this evening, and ridding this residency of a particular vermin. I am the head of household here, the Shadout Mapes. I know what occurs in this place at all times. And it's like, but you should know that there are others here that you perhaps have not met, that have their eyes upon you and your house. You must tread carefully, for although they do not work for the Harkonnens, they do report to the Emperor.
I see. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Please be careful, Pardot Reed. You and those in your employ are in great danger the longer you remain here on Arrakis. With that, she kind of turns away and walks around the corner.
Pardot does a quick look over his shoulder to make sure no one's actively watching him as the conversation ends, and just continues back to his quarters.
Mossum is like rubbing his eyes and coming out of his quarters. There's been a lot of back and forth down this corridor, and he's like, what's all the ruckus about? Marshal Reed?
Yes, Mas.
I had another dream. Are you well? Is everyone all right?
Everyone that matters is fine. Yes. It was simply a terrible accident earlier. One of the Harkonnens.
Oh, I see. Very well then. I shall try to remain rested. Thank you.
Are you all right, Mas? Are you okay?
He looks weary. He's just like, ever since I don't know if it's the spice or the dust here. I've had, maybe it's just what happened on Jabberwock. I've had terrible dreams, recurring dreams since we've arrived. I've told Daphne about them, and she seems to be having them as well. There's just so many things I keep seeing, and I can't keep track of them all. I don't understand. I don't know what to make of it. How do you do it?
Do what?
How do you mentats control your mind in the way that you do?
It's years of training. Discipline.
I'm disciplined. Could you show me how I can stop these visions, these things that I see?
Stop, I may not be able to, but I can certainly help you cope with
My
them.
mother was of the Bene Gesserit. She taught me how to control my body, but I do not know how to control my mind.
Come then. And Pardot will lead Mossum to his quarters, to Pardot's quarters, sit him at the desk, and start going over just a handful of the basic techniques.
Mm-hmm. Wipe your mind clean, focus on
Right.
the thing, and
Focus.
yeah, okay. He seems to be picking it up fairly well, but obviously he's going to need a lot more training, like years of it, before he gets to your level. But yeah, you start teaching him the basics of how to process information, blanking your mind, like suppressing things, and like hyper focusing on one thing. Very good, very well done. Zoshir, you and Tiberius return back to the residency. He gets cleaned up and he gets changed in a his still suit. It's not fitted well. Just you can tell just by looking at it at a glance. It is an authentic still suit though. It's not one of the ones that you buy in like the marketplace that are like these secondhand, whatever. This is the real deal. But he obviously hasn't traveled enough in the desert, and especially in the deep desert, to sort of know how to fit it accordingly. Do you assist him, or do you sort of like just let him figure it out on his own?
Oh. Ambrose wants to help. However, I think Zoshir would see if it comes instinctually to him.
To assist to adjust his still suit, or for him, like for Tiberius to know that instinct. Okay.
For Tiberius to know that.
He doesn't. He sort of observes how you're wearing it, and he tries to mimic it, but he doesn't do a very good job doing so. He does tell you though about the Cheshires and their sordid histories, all that he knows about it, and he tells you of Mossum and how he is the son of someone named Kyra. Do you have Fremen culture understand?
Ooh. Let's see. Desert navigation.
Okay. That this just means that you don't have a specialty and you don't have a focus. You can roll understand, however. Let's see if you know if that name calls out to you. 2 difficulty. She's tried to make it difficult for her to be known in such a way. But 1 success and 1 complication. You have momentum available to you if you want to use one to roll an additional die. As far as the complication goes, it's not terrible, but I can bank it as 2 threat unless you want to take it.
I don't know. This doesn't seem like a situation I want to use that momentum for.
Do it.
I'll take
do
the
it.
Do it.
Okay.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Okay, I'll do it.
So that leaves us with 3.
That leaves you with 2.
2.
And then, as he's making conversation, I'll just silently reach over and adjust the still suit.
Okay. He seems surprised at first, but he feels your hands like adjusting his suits, and he just kind of relaxes visibly and lets you adjust the suit. And he's like, "Am I doing? Is it right? Is it correct now?"
It is. I'm impressed for someone who was not raised here.
Oh, thank you. When he says the word Kyra, the name Kyra, he doesn't say. He says Kyra, but you don't recognize that name, and you're like, okay. That doesn't mean anything to me. But then he's like, he goes on and he's like, yes, I believe she is a Sayadina among your people of sorts. And that kind of raises some awareness within you. You're like, wait a minute, she's a Sayadina. Okay. And that kind of like makes you aware that if Masum is the son of a Sayadina and this Kyra is an outsider, then perhaps the calls for examining this boy might be more worth your time than you previously had imagined, because that is how the old prophecy went, is that the Mahdi would come from outside of Arrakis, and his ways, your ways, would be known to him almost instinctively, and he would be the child of a Bene Gesserit. So what he's saying is definitely appealing to that initial charge that was given to you by your naive. Bring out the names here before I forget. Haga Harg. That would be Nawan is your naive Sayadina who charged you with this, and he's like, I am prepared to leave whenever you are. If you simply point the way, I will fly us there.
Before we go, or perhaps on the way.
Mhm.
What of your family? Why do you feel the need to seek out the Fremen for connection?
I don't know. But I wish to disappear from this Imperium. And the Fremen seems to be the place where I could call home, more so than Jabberwock or that palace back there ever could be.
It is not an easy life.
No life is an easy life.
Very well.
He flies you to Hagaharg, as you pointed out to him. The late night, two ornithopters fly across right by each other, one coming from Carthag, one going out into the deep desert. As you fly over the shield wall, you arrive, and to your surprise, Zoshir, the entire tribe is waiting for you and for your companions. They are surprised to see Tiberius arrive. Key, you can feel free to play Tiberius for this scene if you like. This is essentially the Fremen are welcoming everybody back in and essentially throwing a celebratory party of sorts, the Fremen party, for Zoshir for successfully returning the spice bribe to the guild, which is huge. Tiberius doesn't know what this entails, but it looks like there's a very, very large gathering when you arrive in the central chamber at the Sietch. And men, women, children of all ages have gathered here, and they all receive you with like a chant as soon as you cross the initial threshold. Bila Kaifa, they say in unison, which is kind of like their way of saying Amen. When they say that, Zoshir and our warriors, now one says, has returned successfully, triumphant over the Harkonnens. They have safeguarded our people from assault when we travel at night. And for this, we celebrate this evening, well into the morning hours. And she's like, come, outsider. Why have you come here? What brings you back to our siege?
I wish to join you.
Why do you wish to join Fremen?
I have not personally known of your people for very long. The short time that I have, I felt more at home here than anywhere else in the Imperium. I've
See that you have attachments to some of our greatest warriors. He gestures towards Nalia and Hurdy and, of course, Zoshir.
I fought alongside them.
You're bonded by combat. The spilling of our enemy's blood. But anyone can kill a Harkonnen. Any child here can murder a Harkonnen. What makes you so exceptional? Why would we accept you into our ranks?
I've killed many over my career, my life.
You have not come here to get away from that, have you? Because if you have chosen poorly. The life of a Fremen is fraught with danger. This is Arrakis, after all. Death is a companion as much as life.
That I am aware.
Well then, if you are willing to spill blood and risk your own life, we owe you our water as well. Let our waters mingle then. And he's like she spits at your feet, and as a sort of invitation. You have enough understanding here that you follow suit. And with that, she's like, "Let the Tau begin," he says. Zoshir, you have memories of the Tau when you were younger. You remember when your father brought you to the chambers near the lower chambers of the Sietch that hold the wind traps. That is also where they kept the stunted worms, the ones that they captured and drowned, that release the illuminating poison, the one that is lethal until the Sayadina changes the poison, and the rest of the tribe is able to partake in it. A drug that brings you all closer together as a community, as a tribe, but also sometimes gives visions of the future. That reinterprets things that you've experienced before. You see it under new light, a new perspective. It expands your consciousness. Without the change of a Sayadina, however, it can kill with just a drop. You're here for this, Tiberius, and the celebration begins. After they've already gone through the process of drowning the worm and parsing out portions of the illuminating poison. Everyone partakes, of course. Most of the adults go to one side of the Sietch, while the children are sort of, in their own chambers all to themselves. Most of the children just experience lights and colors and different vibrant experiences. The adults have more adult situations as they engage in an orgy, but it is more than just a sexual orgy. It is an orgy of celebration of faith. So you partake in this as well. Tiberius, do you take the illuminating poison?
Before he does so, he almost mutters a toast to himself to life, and he downs
He takes
some.
off the mask for the first time. You take a sip, and at first nothing happens, and then suddenly you hear impossibly the sounds of waves, of showers, and of the sea crashing onto waves. And as the water drifts away, it takes you with it, and you're drawn out into this invisible sea of your mind, and you are able to see things and experience things that you never thought were possible while being awake. The same is true for you, Zoshir. Except when you take the illuminating poison, you have this feeling of moving through the sand, submerging and then re-emerging again, and moving and slithering. For just a moment, you are the one. You are Shai Hulud. It's a bit overwhelming, however, because at one point you go down into the depths beneath the sands, and you begin to realize that you're suffocating, and you have to get out. You have to escape. You have to get out of this sand before you die. And you feel yourself physically emerging from the Sietch into the night air, the very crisp, cold night air. And that's when that particular hallucination fades, and you have to catch your breath for a moment. While you're out there, you hear the sounds of two Fremen, a man and a woman. Are you all right?
I needed some air.
You've gone through a lot lately, haven't you?
Indeed.
You
Have
risked your
we?
life.
It's all for the good of the Sietch.
But what about you? What does Zoshir Tabr need and deserve? What about your life?
I'd never given it much thought, honestly.
Perhaps you should, the woman says.
Who am I if not serving my Sietch?
You are Zoshir Tabr, and a hero for Hagahag. And you deserve to be happy as much as anyone else, do you not?
Perhaps, but I hadn't truly been happy since
the Sietch, when the Iduali came for you? Do you still thirst for justice, Zoshir?
I do.
Do you still search for their water?
Always.
But that will never make you happy. Will it? This path that you have chosen ends in blood and disappointment. Here are words, Zoshir. Please, you must do something for yourself. Think of yourself as much as you think of your Sietch, of your tribe. You deserve happiness. You deserve more than just vengeance. And when you turn around and look, the two Fremen that are talking to you are your parents that have been dead for many, many years. We absolve you of your search for justice, Zoshir, because your happiness is more important than the water you sought to take from the people that murdered us. Know this, that the next time you see the Iduali, you must join them if the Fremen are to survive the future, what's coming. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your father asks.
I understand, but I don't know how you can ask this of me.
They both approach you, and they both lay their hands on you. And it's like, it's all right. You have internalized our deaths for so long. You have taken it upon yourself to bear the burden of our deaths and to swear vengeance to our ancient enemy, the Iduali. But trust us, if you do so, if you continue on this path, then your spirit will go to the funeral plane, same as ours, and you will never see Al-Alat. You will die for nothing. Instead, live for something. Live for something other than vengeance. Live for someone else. Live for yourself. Please. If you make war on the Iduali and you succeed, it may very well doom the rest of our people when change comes to this planet. We absolve you of vengeance, my son. And we beg you, please, please find happiness. And they disappear with the wind. And that's where we'll stop to go on our break.
I fucking knew it. I knew it. That was gonna be the break.
The time is now 12:36 Eastern Standard Time. We shall return in 10 minutes, everybody. right, and welcome back. We have returned. We left off. Our Fremen compatriots and Tiberius had celebrated the Tau in Hargahag and experienced some visions, some more disturbing than others. We're returning back now. We're going to switch over to Archibald, who is still in space inside of a very large heighliner that has been taken over by space pirates. They call themselves the Forgotten Children, the descendants of those who have been exiled to the planet or planet series of planets called Tupile. They no longer wish to hide in the shadows or live on these prison planets, as it were, and want to return to the Imperium in some fashion. And they seem to have taken this heighliner captive. And unbeknownst to Archibald and Yeva, the navigator seems to be in on this particular venture. Well, we left off with you, Archibald. You and Yeva had snuck away from the central concourse where you had bumped into Davos, coincidentally, and as these pirates were shaking everybody down, when you managed to hide in the merchant quarter, or in the merchant suites portion of the heighliner. And you managed to sequester yourself inside one of the suites, at least for now, while you develop a plan to try to either escape this terrible situation or take control of it in some way. Proceed.
So, I'm going to use an ability first, called Passive Scrutiny. Okay, when you enter a scene, you may ask one question of the Game Master as if you spent momentum to obtain. Do I need to spend momentum on this? Does it say to spend it?
It says, you basically get a, you can ask me one question for free and I have to answer it without you having, which you typically have to spend momentum with, but you don't have to do it. And with this talent allows you to bypass the need of spending any sort of momentum to do so. So yeah, feel free to ask me a question as soon as you move into this suite.
Okay. So, do these people actually, what does Davos want?
What does Davos want? You asked the one question that you already knew the answer to. Are you sure you want to ask that question?
No. How about, I'll give you a better one. Navigator, what does he want?
You don't know. What most navigators want is spice, because they need it to live, because they're addicted to it, and the spice gas has transformed their bodies over long periods of time, so they don't even resemble human beings anymore, practically. So typically, navigators want privacy because, they don't look human anymore, and it's kind of a closely guarded secret within the guild that they don't want. So not many people see second or third stage guild navigators very often. It's usually an event or something specific is happening that requires their presence. So they typically just want what other navigators want, which is to be able to, facilitate the wishes of the guild and to retain their spice allotment.
Okay. All I got from you. I see what you did there, Eric. My mistake. I won't make that again. First, me and Yeva, we're going to have a conversation before we talk about getting off of this. I'm going to hit my cone of silence, and I'm going to say,
Mark.
Yeva, what do you think of this title?
What do I think of what?
Queen Yeva Schumann.
Oh, are you having another one of your delusions of grandeur again, Archibald? Please, get on with it. What are we doing here?
I'll tell you my full plan and what I'm going to do. You haven't given me any reason not to trust you.
Did you mean like Empress Yeva or like Queen Yeva?
Well, to me, Empress and Queen are kind of like
synonymous. Okay.
Yeah, synonymous. So that's kind of what I thought. But if she kind of resonates with Empress better, I guess you could do that.
I mean, you say Empress, and she has the same exact reaction. Just like, what are you going on about? We're in a dangerous situation right now. You're a brilliant military strategist. Haven't you come up with a plan by now to get us out of this situation?
Yes, I have.
Good.
But I want to have this talk first. I want to tell you my plan because we could greatly improve our situation with that plan.
Please proceed while I'm still alive, as I'm quickly dying of anticipation.
Oh, believe me. Thing is I plan to liberate Toolpine.
What?
I plan to set up trade routes in between it.
Did you just decide to liberate an exile planet full of exiles to the Imperium? You did just think of that. Are you out of your mind? Do you know what sort of trouble you would make, not just for yourself, but for our house?
Yeah, I do.
This is a fool's gambit. What would you stand to gain by giving these people some sort of perceived freedom? They're space pirates, Archibald. You know what we do with space pirates in the Imperium? We shoot them.
Well, those space pirates also have multiple houses on Toolpine, which sizes we probably, if not bigger, or at the same size of what the houses that we have now.
She starts getting very, visibly upset, and then suddenly she's just like, and then she rushes over and she just vomits into a potted plant. It's like,
told you you were gonna like hearing it.
Archibald, I swear to you, if you don't get us out of this alive, I will kill you.
Don't you worry.
I will come back to life and kill you again and again. I'll find a way. I'll get the damned Tlilaxu to do it.
Understandable. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to. There's obviously freaking alcohol here.
Yes.
I'm going to make Molotov cocktails.
You're going to make improvised explosives?
Oh yes.
My. Okay. To see if you're
I'm
successful,
also
you
going
don't light yourself and the room on fire. Go ahead and give me an understand roll. And give me at least 2 successes, please.
Okay. I'm also going to feel the walls, and I want to make sure these guys are steel.
Okay. Give me an understand first. Yes. Give me an understand and then a discipline roll. Both difficulty 2. You have, I believe, you have a couple of points of momentum. Yes, you have 2 points of momentum if you wish to spend any. I'm going to secretly spend some threat because I'm feeling very generous this evening. Would you like to spend any momentum?
I would like to put forth a motion to deny Archibald all momentum.
Oh, don't worry.
No,
Don't worry about it. I'm
I'm
dropping
just
6 threat right now, so.
Just kidding.
This is justice. I could also use my ransack ability too to give me 2 more. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna ransack quietly though.
It's fine. You have the silence emitter activated, so you can ransack to your heart's delight. Yep. You ransack the room and you find a couple of interesting things. You find what appears to be an intercom system that's integrated with the rest of the heighliner. Naturally, this intercom is only one way. Like, they can reach you, but you can't reach them. However, if you tinker with it, you may be able to reverse that. In other words, you can potentially use this as a sort of a walkie-talkie and just, talk to whoever it is that you want on board the heighliner without them knowing where it's coming from. Alternately, what you can do is you can listen in on any one particular room that you wish that has an intercom system built into it, which is many of them. Because the controls exist, but you would have to basically toy with it. You have to tinker with that technology in order to get it to work in that particular fashion. So you find that's one of the first things you find. The other thing that you find is a grill that is fixed to the wall that you can utilize. It basically operates as a vent. It's ventilation for like air filtration, which you can remove and move through, and you can utilize to move to different areas of the vessel.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to be using the grill. So,
Okay.
one other thing I wanted to find as well is some sort of noisemaker, like a radio or I'm pretty sure Dune has radios, correct? Or is that
Yes.
heresy? Okay.
They're called communinets, and most people have them. Most people, especially if a house, have a communinet of some sort.
Okay.
You are currently in a merchant suite that belongs to the Chom Corporation. Combine Honnet over Advanced Mercantiles. They basically are space Amazon. And
Gotcha.
they on the walls you see that flag, which is a large yellow with a circle that's cut in half, and half of it is red and half of it is black.
Okay. So what I'm going to obviously give Yeva the walkie-talkie in this scenario. I'm also going to use Jesus Christ. I'm trying to think here. I'm also going to use okay. So I'm also going to tell Yeva, I'm going to take the grill off, and I'm going to be like, I want you to go to the other side, and I'm going to make these Molotov cocktails.
All right, improvise explosives. Go ahead and roll. Understand. Give me 2 successes.
2 successes. I'm going to use
If you have improvised weapons as a focus anywhere, if it's under battle or whatever, I'll let it count. But go ahead and roll that first, and let me know if you get 2 successes. You didn't get it?
No, I'm rolling now.
Oh, okay.
Use focus. Could I use the focus on this? I could use observe.
To make Molotov cocktails? No.
No.
You're trying to make improvised explosives here, essentially, so that doesn't serve you in any way.
3 successes.
You got 3 successes and a complication. Would you like to pay me threat for a complication?
Oh, I got a 20.
It's not a big deal. You're only making explosives in a room.
I know, right? Yeah, no, I'm going to give you threat. I don't want no damn complication.
Cool.
We need this to go smoothly.
For me, I'll spend it immediately.
Wow, brave general needs to avoid complications. So, wow.
Yeah,
I'm up to 8 threat. I just spent. That's cool. Nothing bad happening here. So you have these improvised explosives that you have concocted from the alcoholic beverages that are situated in the Chom suite, as it were. Yeva's just like, what a waste of good alcohol. She says, and she takes a swig before she lets you use the rest of it to make an explosive with it.
She's
And I'm
pregnant.
gonna be like, trust me, you're gonna need it.
So she just took a small swig. It's fine. It's the future. Anyhow, she's just like, you want me to crawl in that freaking thing and go where exactly?
To the next room over. We're gonna light this room on fire.
That's your plan? We're going to light the room on fire and go. You're gonna make me crawl through that thing and into the other room? Your plan sucks, she says, and she starts going through the duct.
How else do you see this going, honey?
Well, she's not. I mean, she's a military mind as well, but she's nowhere on your level. So she's just like,
Okay.
I don't see what you see. Whatever. And she starts
Okay.
doing as you ask. So you
So
have the
this
explosives,
event-
you have the grill off. What do you want? What else did you want to do?
So is this event kitty corner to the room?
It's separated by maybe like 10 or so feet of hallway space. Like there's a crawl space between the rooms, and that's about it. Like 10-15 feet, give or take.
Okay. So I'm gonna need a tripwire then. Okay, because
Okay.
originally I was gonna have just Yeva throw him in there and then take the grate and pull back, but that wasn't gonna work. I'm gonna need tripwire.
You can make it like you've already succeeded in making the explosives, so just setting up something that'll trigger it was fine. You're doing the die hard thing. That's fine. You set it up where? By the doorway?
No. So there's also obviously some sort of burnable material that's in the room. I'm making sure this thing goes up, and I'm doing my damnedest.
Laka and fogwood constructed tables and things along the room.
I'm gonna
very, very, nice decor. So yeah,
pile it up. Sorry, I'm gonna pile it up. And I'm gonna set that tripwire like halfway in the door because my goal here is to get most of them in the room and then have the other ones distracted by their friends burning alive.
You can probably get a good group of them in here and burn the shit out of them. Just remember, there has to be, by your estimations, there has to be hundreds of these guys running around on the ship with weapons in order to fully take control of a ship of this size and to keep it operational. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so you have the explosives set up, the tripwire, everything. Yeva's in the other room. She's like, "What now?" Are you going to use the intercom in any way? Are you going to interact with that? Or are you going to do some? Or is there some other part of the plan that you have?
So, basically, I'm going to start. So the radio or whatever it's called here, I specifically want to get.
Oh, the communinet. You mean the little beep, beep, beep? Okay.
The communinet. I specifically want to get like voices, like a talk show or something, to kind of mimic that there's somebody in here, basically.
You want to create noise in the room to draw their attention.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. You can set you can just turn on the intercom or something like that, set it to a dead channel and let the static fill the room or whatever, up the volume.
All right.
Are you following Yeva into the next room?
I'm going to set the tripwire and... Actually, is there a way that I can remote detonate it?
No.
No? Okay. Then what I'll do is I'll set up the tripwire maybe halfway into the room so I can get a good amount of the soldiers in.
Okay. All right. So you make plenty of noise and you join Yeva in the other chamber and you wait.
Correct. And I will also make sure the grill is on. And I'm making sure that thing is sturdy.
You hear some voices in the hallway shortly afterwards. After a good maybe 10-15 minutes, somebody's just patrolling with another guy, and they're just like, "Did you hear that? There's sound coming from in there." And they're like, "I think the intercom's wonky. Is there somebody in there?" Shh. Oh, wait, bring in the others. And you see like there's more booted feet coming down the hallway eventually, and Yeva just looks at you and it's like, "So we're gonna kill a squad of them? I still don't see what the point of this plan is." Eventually they're like, "We're coming in," and like they barge into the room, like taking somebody by surprise, thinking that they're taking somebody by surprise, and immediately, like the moment they see like propped up chairs or anything, like they start firing into the room. There's somebody there. Oh, go check it out. They start moving into the room. It's not very well lit. You purposely douse the lights somewhat on purpose. And eventually they walk into the room and they engage the tripwire, and there's like a crash of glass and like a whoosh sound of fire as they're like, ah! So like they start getting lit on.
Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
There should be only maybe 2 or 3 there, correct?
Yeah, there's a couple of guys in the room that are just like covered in fire now.
Well, no, not in the
room,
but out in the doorway.
Yeah, there's 2 of their buddies are just watching, like, "Oh shit, it was trapped."
Okay, so I'm gonna tell Yeva, I'm gonna need you to take one of them out.
Okay, she says, and she just runs out into the hallway and takes aim and fires. They're surprised, so I'm not even gonna roll. Like, she just aces this one guy, just shoots him in the back of the head and just falls down dead. Your turn.
Then I'm going to close the door and make sure no one comes out.
You're okay. You shut the door behind you?
No, the door going into the room, so that way none of the soldiers can come out. I'm burning them alive.
Okay. I got it. Do you finish off the other one?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Indeed, so.
How do you want to take them out?
Take him out. I don't have a gun, so I would most definitely just freaking tackle the dude. And obviously, I got to be there to push the button to close the door anyway. So.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and give me battle roll.
Battle roll.
Just as long as you just don't completely blow the roll, you should be able to easily take out this mook.
Just to make sure, I'm gonna use another freaking
Point of momentum?
yeah.
Did
Knowing
you
my
use
luck,
one previously or no?
we have 2, don't we?
Yeah, you have 2.
Yeah, so this will be the last one. Yeah.
Okay, so you did use both momentum. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll an extra die.
I also have a focus in this for strategy. This is pretty strategic, if you don't ask me.
I would say so. Yeah, your focus definitely applies. This is a plot to take him by surprise, so go for it. This is what you're good at, man. Holy Moses!
Holy
5
wowzers!
successes. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you like 4 momentum from that, because goddamn, nobody came into that room thinking they were gonna get ambushed by General McGee over here. So yeah,
There
you
you go.
straight up tackle this dude, and you easily, like, his head bounces against the bulkhead as you just like tackle him straight on, and you just like, he's out like a light. You get up, hit the release on the door, and the screams of the 3 dying mercenary pirate people inside are just completely doused, unlike their flames, which eat them alive. Okay, so you have 3 dead soldiers, 3 dead mooks inside the room. Their stuff has been destroyed. However, you have 2, 1 unconscious and 1 dead mercenary outside the doorway, whose weapons and communinets are available to you if you wish to take them.
Oh yeah. I would gesture to Yeva, like, there you go.
Excellent.
There you go.
Well, she's
I got a
already
plan. You at least
armed.
trust me
You
a little
actually
bit.
need the weapon, so she's just like, arm yourself, fool.
Literally.
They won't hesitate to shoot you.
And the
It's
thing
like-
is like, I'm gonna kind of look at her and be like, huh, do you trust me yet?
You look at her, you give her that look, and she just kind of like rolls her eyes, like, okay, sure. What's next in your brilliant plan, Archibald?
Sometimes you just gotta think big. And then I would definitely go towards the obviously the navigator's chamber.
Okay, yes, I'm moving to the navigator's chamber. How do you wish to move there? Do you just want to move? Well, you're gonna have to go through the commercial storage, obviously. So if you go in there, are you just moving as part of your action, or did you want to try to move stealthily, or do you purposely move in there boldly to draw their attention elsewhere? How do you want to plan this?
We obviously don't have a overview of soldiers and whatnot. I definitely want to go in quietly. I don't want to.
Moving subtly is fine. What it allows you to do also is that it allows you to go again, or to have Yeva get a free, movement in there, so you can kind of move in concert with one another. Go ahead and roll move, and let me know if you get 2 successes.
Oh, God.
However, know that the consequences are, if you don't succeed in this move check, then moving subtly, what'll end up happening is you'll alert the forgotten children that are on this portion of the heighliner. So if you have stealth, this would be where you would utilize it. I need Yeva's sheet. 1 second.
All right. So yeah, I'll do a.
You have momentum now, by the way.
I do. I have a lot of momentum. Yeah, I would. With justice move, I could do it. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna spend a determination point.
Okay.
I'm gonna use 2, so it'd be 4.
If you want to if you wanted to roll 2 additional dice, you'd need to spend 3 momentum, which would leave you at 1 momentum left. Okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna go ahead and mark those.
And
Go ahead and roll. I'm gonna roll for
Submit.
Yeva as well.
I have no focus on this, so
She's
Jesus
trusting
Christ.
you
I
on
got
this, so
2
this is all
successes.
faith. Dice. The last one should roll.
No
3.
crits though. We're good.
Important
No crits.
focus. 3 successes for her and 2 successes for you. So you get 1 momentum back. So what that'll allow is she moves as well. You're able to actually get a lot more movement out of this this action. So you basically go from without alerting the 2 groups of guards that are on this level. You're able to slide in and slide back out just as quickly. Now you're in the navigator's chambers. Now, not many people are able to access this level of the heighliner, but because of your advanced knowledge of where you're going, you're able to navigate it successfully. You manage to get to what the navigator's chambers are largely like blocked off. So it is a little bit tricky to get to it, but with you and Yeva putting your heads together, you manage to get to where you need to go, and essentially you're just outside these 2 large metal double doors that kind of slide in and interlock, and that makes the threshold that leads into the chamber itself. It's a vast chamber that exists on this level. How do you want to proceed inside to the navigator?
To the navigator, I want to get a lay sight of how many soldiers there are in the room. Obviously
you
got
listen at the door or something.
Correct. Yeah, I want to
Okay, give
hear.
me discipline, and if you have observation as a focus, you can use it as well.
100%.
I don't think Yeva has that. Oh no, she does. She has observation as a focus, so you can have her roll and lead, and you can assist with 1 die instead of 2. If you want her to try to take the lead on this, otherwise you can try to take the lead and she'll assist. How do you want to do it?
Can I know her score in discipline?
Sure, it's 6, which is
6.
pretty
Okay,
good.
so it's
And she has
same as
observation as a
mine.
focus. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. Sure. See what happens. So just
What
1
exactly are we
die.
going to do? She asks. She puts her ear to the door. Yeah, roll 1 die, and what you're rolling is discipline.
Oh, 2 successes. Crit.
2 successes. Wow. Let's see. She's just gonna roll the 2, and she does have a focus. And... Wow. Okay. So in total, you get between the 2 of you get 6 successes. Okay. I'm gonna give you some momentum from that because that is an exceptionally good roll. Specifically, I'm going to fill you up completely with momentum, so you get 4 back from that. And now that you're full of momentum, you guys have been making very good progress, sneaking your way through the heighliner. And when she puts her ears to the door, she's able to make out noises on the other side. Specifically, a conversation that is happening currently between Reese and the navigator himself.
Wait, sorry. Can you repeat that? Got distracted.
Yes. So what she's able to hear a conversation ensuing between Reese, the commander of these pirates, and the navigator himself. I didn't have a token for the navigator, such as this schmuck over here, but
Okay.
that's who is communicating on the other side of this door. She's like, the navigator and this fool Reese are talking, but there's more than just the 2 of them inside the room. I hear 2, no, 3 of his men are inside. At least one of them is augmented like the others. What's the next? It's like, I'm trusting you with this plan, Archibald. I'm trusting you with my life and the status of our house with this plan. So whatever it is that you're going to do now, we need to do it soon, and it needs to be good. Do you understand me?
I understand. Can you be a little nicer? Jeez.
I'm sorry. I'm going through things right now. Okay.
I could tell.
And she's like, all right. What's the plan? Are we barging in and attacking as soon as we get in, or what is your?
We're
what are
not.
you going
We're
to
not
do?
going to stand a chance against that augmented. I guarantee he's got some sort of superior strength on us.
It's a sneak attack. What is your plan?
Okay.
How should we proceed?
Passive scrutiny. Gonna use it again. Since we switched, I consider
Yeah,
this
we'll
a new
switch scenes.
scene.
This is a different scene. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. What? Okay. Okay. Freaking killing me here. Okay. Before I do that, I'm gonna do one thing. Could I do an observe around the room for any like some sort of damage, maybe electrical damage?
You can create that trait if you wish. Go ahead and make a discipline roll. As long as you manage to make one success, you can spend I believe it's 2 momentum to create a trait of this scene, like damaged circuitry or something like that. You can create that for yourself. So yeah, it'll just cost 2 points of momentum.
Okay. Okay. 2 points of momentum. Yeah, I'll spend that. Do I just get 2 dice?
Yeah, it's a standard roll. This is just a discipline roll, another notice sort of check.
I could do this as a focus, correct, for observe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to find
Please
something. Absolutely.
do not fail. Oh yes, crits again. 4 successes.
Wow, 4 successes. You're back to full.
A 2 and a 1. God damn those rolls.
You're on fire.
I am. So don't say that. I don't want it to go away.
It's all right. We already did. Your next roll is going to be all 20s.
Your rolls suck, Leo. Okay, now, but you're burning up over here. Okay, so you spend the 2 momentum and you get them right back with the roll, or I'll say you get the momentum and then you spend the 2 momentum, so you lose those 2, but you have 4 left, and you're able to create the trait for this scene. What were you looking for? Like damaged wiring or something like that?
I was looking more for, because honestly, the only way to kind of get rid of a cyborg is you gotta freaking short circuit the gosh darn thing. So, I'm going to say there's like some pretty like when they were boarding, this certain cyborg had like a damage to their arm of some sort, and it's like the sweet spot to, if Yeva shoots it, it'll short circuit the whole thing, like
or if
like
you manage to pull those loose wires and you stick it to the cyborg, you might be able to short out the pieces that are vital to him. Sure, you can do that. Yeah, you find some loose wiring and stuff like that, near the navigator's chamber. It looks like this heighliner has been used and hasn't been maintained as a normal heighliners are. And sure, there's like stuff that's been left unmaintained. So yeah, you can reasonably create that trait for the scene. Now, which one of you goes first through the door, or do you go together at the same time?
So now I'm going to use passive scrutiny again.
Okay.
Are these guys
inside
willing
the room?
What?
You already used passive scrutiny. I thought you. Oh no, I got it. Okay, you're gonna ask a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are these guys willing to talk to me?
Perhaps. Yeah. I mean, they're looking for. They're desperate. You know that much. So yeah, depending on what you're offering them, they might be willing to listen. Moment of truth. Who goes first?
It is the moment of truth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Yeva, I'm going to try talking to these guys.
Oh, this will go well, she says.
But just in case, there's some wires down there. We got to if this goes awry, we got to short circuit the cyborg there.
She sighs and says, Archibald, my dear, if this goes badly, I'm heading in the other direction.
Really? Okay, that's fine. So
After
I'm going to
you?
tell what?
After you, she says.
Just wait by the door.
Fine, she says. Looks around, readies her gun. You pop open the door.
Yep.
Okay. You hotwire it. Door opens up. You hear, the hell is that? Do you walk in like, maul a rifle in hand, or do you just kind of walk in with your hands akimbo? How do you want to present yourself?
I'm going to non-threatening. All right. And I'm going to say, calm down. My name is Archibald. May I know yours?
You see this guy with the eye patch and the armor and stuff. Reese, he turns to you as he's facing what appears to be a navigator, swirling in the spice gas, and 2 or 3 of his guys immediately draw weapons and point them at you, and he's just like, he holds up his hands like, who in the vermilion hells are you?
I'm gonna lead. Give me a minute.
I'm sorry, do you speak Galak? What did you just say?
Give me a minute. I'm trying to find my actual title.
You're trying to find your words? Oh, that's nice. Roll
Yeah.
communications, please.
What?
Yeah. There are people
okay.
aiming weapons at you, and they're
gotcha.
like a heartbeat away from shooting you.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'm gonna be like, my name's Archibald, and I'm from the House Librius.
Oh, you're Archibald, he says.
You heard of me?
Yes. Someone
How
contacted us, said that we'd be picking you up on Caladan. So you're the one they wanted us to kill.
Who?
And you see you get a glimpse of the 3rd stage navigator.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, Cheshire, he says ominously. You have a certain set of gourds to come in here in such a way, Archibald Cheshire. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you right now.
Because
he's my contract.
I believe I can help you.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Would you be able to assist us better than your dead corpse would? Because we were to receive full payment when we bring your body to Arrakis.
Well, I want the same thing you guys want.
Oh, I highly doubt that.
Oh, believe me.
You're a man. You're a man of stature and regalia. He says, looking up and down your outfit, uniform.
I was also a man that was in prison for 10 years.
Well,
framed.
What a heartbreaking story. Remind me to tell you mine someday, or ours rather. He says, gesturing to the other exiles in the room who have been technically in prisons all their lives.
And that's why I've been doing my research on you guys as well too. I don't know you, but I know there are tons of houses that shouldn't be suffering from the fate of what their ancestors have done.
Okay, give me the communications roll, please. Remember I spent all that threat before? You have 4 momentum right now if you wish to spend it.
I'm using all of it. I don't want to die.
Well, if you don't want to die, then you may want to consider using that momentum for that communication roll, because this guy has very good incentive to kill you right now and haul your ass to Arrakis to get the rest of his payment.
Don't forget you can burn that determination too.
Yep,
Ooh, you get
if this-
determination as well.
I am going to burn the determination if this doesn't work. All right.
Well,
so...
it matters. It matters what drive you're using.
Okay.
Okay. You're trying to preserve your own life, which is typically power. You're trying to convince them of something to not kill you.
Well,
So if you have a
I have
statement
deceit.
under the
so
drive, under which one?
I have deceit.
Or are you trying to deceive them now?
Well, it's the only thing I got. Okay, so I'm gonna do the traditional roll. All right.
Let me tell you. Okay, so if you're trying to deceive them, I believe that should fall probably under truth, perhaps, unless you're trying to deceive them for power's sake. In which case, which one do you have a statement for? Power or truth?
Power or truth? Oh, okay. Let me see. I will have what is owed to me. That is what I have. That's a pretty good.
That's under
one.
power.
Yeah, that's under power, and then truth is you will know me by my deeds. That's a good one
so
too.
you have two options to go with there.
Correct.
Truth or power. Do you want to
Truth.
manipulate them for yourself, or do you? Okay, truth it is. So truth paired with communication. Go ahead and roll that. How much momentum do you wish to use, if any?
All right. I'm gonna use. I want 3 dice.
You want 3 dice, so you want to spend 3 momentum for that.
Correct.
I mean, it leaves you with 1. Roll. Make it good. No pressure. Yeah,
So
was just standing by the doorway, like, let's see if he lives.
So freaking tense right now. Like I'm shaking. It's that bad. Like, oh my god.
Aren't you wondering who hired these people to kill
I
you?
am wondering, and I'm gonna get the answer to that because I'm thinking if it's House Cheshire, I'm bombing their asses.
Go ahead and roll.
All right. So I'm going to go. So what was it for the skill? Communicate.
Communication, yeah. You're gonna pair communication with truth in this case, and you're gonna want to roll high. Roll because you're literally manipulating these people to benefit you somehow.
Yes. You gotta be fucking kidding me. No.
Now hold on.
All right.
You can spend your determination point because it is
100%.
linked to
I'm
a
spending a
drive.
determination point, and I'm changing my
Okay.
ambition.
Okay, so you use that point of determination that gives you 3 successes. I'm gonna roll for this guy just 2d20s and see what he gets. If he rolls beneath like a 12, he gets a success. Okay. He only gets 1, so he gets 1 success, and because I spent threat, that counts as 2. So you got 3 successes over 2 successes for this guy. And you're like, what do you tell him exactly? You get momentum back. You got up to 2 momentum.
With my hands up, I'm gonna say, I can help you. I believe it or not, I know some information that could put us on the track to be able to liberate you guys.
The information must be very good, Reese says, because someone paid an unrefined spice to kill you. And he like kind of taps his boot against a large crate that's next to the big tank that the navigator's floating around in. This should have actually been going to the guild, he says, and he taps it. But you know, spice is very loose on Arrakis. It can get here, it can get everywhere. What is it that you have, Archibald Cheshire, that can benefit us? What are you proposing?
I'm proposing sorry, my nerves are up there out of character. They are. I'm
Deep
proposing
breaths.
this. Thing is what makes the Emperor so dangerous.
Besides his shares in Chom, his Sardaukar.
I have troops, and I have the training be able to produce troops just like that. Well, not just like that. Well, if not better.
I've heard of you, Archibald Cheshire. You were the one on Jabberwock, right? When the assault took place earlier this year.
Yeah, and I saved the whole damn planet.
What makes you think you can save us from the wrath of the Emperor? You may have won Canley, but we're talking about the Sildar here. Fierce warriors, no unmatched in anywhere in the Imperium.
Thing is whether they like to believe it or not, the Emperor and the Atreides are not on good terms right now. And there's two things that could happen. One, we can incite.
Give me a discipline check real quick. I just want to see if you catch something.
If I catch something?
Mm-hmm. 2 successes.
Justice? Yeah, we'll go justice, because... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that statement applies to this.
No. This is something that is happening that is hidden. So
Okay.
This is going to elicit truth from you.
Truth?
You're
Okay.
you're trying to detect the truth here.
All right, how many momentum do we have?
Oh, I believe you have like 2. Yeah, you have 2 momentum currently.
I don't know if this is House Cheshire that's wants to kill me. I'm gonna use them, both of them.
Okay. Well, you can use 1 to roll an additional die.
Yeah, I'll use 1.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do I have? So this is you said discipline, right? I'm gonna use an observe.
Okay.
Can I use observe? I am.
Yeah, please.
Oh,
Look at that.
5
successes. So you get 3 back. Very good. Okay, so you notice that Reese, while he's talking to you, does this really subtle motion with his hand that he kind of like does this, and he puts his hand behind his back as he's looking over to the navigator talking to you at the same time, and one of his the cyborg guy in the back just kind of does this number. He's silently communicating with the other mercenaries on the ship.
Archibald's like he's having a giant panic attack in his head, by the way. Just making sure you know that.
You're a military general, my friend.
I know. It doesn't make it any more nerve-wracking.
You're a military genius.
He just learns to hide it, God damn it.
Do you have composure under discipline? As a focus?
I shouldn't have said that. No.
Okay.
I've
So
observed.
yeah, your hands are this is a very tense situation. Your hands are your palms are sweating, and you're just like, I can get you out from underneath the Emperor, and I have forces that can rival his, and this and that. I'm a hero. Blah 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 blah. Is there anything else that you throw at him as far as like in your attempt to bargain?
No, until he's fully. He got my drift about the insight, correct?
But the insight?
Yes.
Sure. He's just like, yeah, I get it. You're wanting to set us free, et cetera, but like, what do we get out of this? Like, what exactly is your grand scheme here for the Imperium? And then and he seems to be kind of taking your cut of this jib, and then the navigator speaks up, and it's like, we need assurances.
Assurances?
Yeah, basically, if you're saying that you're going to collude with them in some way to get them off of Two-Pile, the navigator and them are going to need assurances. And Reese kind of nods in agreement. It's like, yes. What would you be able to give us to ensure your loyalty? And that's when you hear the booted feet just outside the doorway, and they bring in Yeva, and they put her in front of you, and they put their guns to the back of her head. Now we'll switch back to Arrakis. An ornithopter lands. Ornithopter lands in the residency palace in Arrakeen. in the dead of night.
Oh my god.
You arrive along with this Fremen who describes himself as Stilgar. Norma. He obviously is going to need some help getting inside the premises of the palace. Do you call ahead, or do you just sort of land low-key style and then secret your way inside?
So, is Pardot back?
More than likely, yes. At this point, yeah.
I will just send him a short message that will allow him to know that I am discreetly coming with somebody that needs to not be known.
Pardot, you got a special message on your communinet from Norma.
It's the normal code within a code, but something that you would understand is secret arrival, black out all the records. This person didn't exist.
Pardot obliges as he pets Schrodinger, the cat that contains the antidote to the poison. Right, like he knows his place here. He's fully aware. This man was never here.
You make your way inside with the Fremen, Norma? Take him to whose quarters? Or just an empty set of quarters on the servants' wing or something?
I take him to Daphne's quarters.
Of course you do. He's exhausted, but he thanks you, and he, sees like there's so much moisture in the room, so like he goes over and there's like a decanter and he unstoppers it and takes some water, and he's just like, he says a prayer and unstoppers it, and then just sort of lays down and tries to rest. He starts undoing the buttons on his uniform and such. Like, I need a still suit.
That was the next thing I was going to say. I get a Fremen grade still suit for him to have when he is done.
There's not many in the palace yet for you, but you can probably secure one in the morning, probably the next day. What do you do in the meantime while he's resting and here and recuperating?
In the meantime, I'm going to double check all the wonderful bugs that we have planted around to keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary.
Your listening devices? You find as you're checking the listening devices you so expertly placed in different places around the palace, you come across some Bene Gesserit coded dots. There's a message here specifically for you because they knew you'd be checking. It's from Lady Margot Fenring. She needs to meet with you soon. Progress report.
Yes. I knew it would come sooner or later.
Do you try to see her in the morning, or do you postpone it, or do you try to see her immediately?
I will see her in the morning after I have properly hashed out with Kyra the people that are more than likely known, so that I can name drop at least a location and possible suspect, as one of them being one of the Sayadinas in a siege, so that with a Sayadina in the siege.
You're asking, you want to communicate with Kyra and get her to give up one of her own.
This was something that I had said to you before.
Oh.
About basically giving the broad strokes of this is I believe that there is at least one in this region, just that broad strokes of I was only sent to scout. This is what I have learned. It's not the best of information, but that's my report. And it's accurate to enough that it's passing validity tests.
Okay, so you kind of consult her as part of your submittal of your report. So before you see Fenring for your report to Mother Superior, you want to make contact with Kyra first and say, like, I need some intel that I can give them so that I can pass under the wire for this.
I sent you this in the side before that I wanted to do this when I was still over there.
I see. You did that already then.
Yeah, the consult before it happened already. So that I have all this information and I can give a broad strokes, but absolutely be useless.
No specifics.
Yeah.
You just began your investigation, that's fine. They typically expect that, at least.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, they're out there, but okay, got it.
And I think there's one in this region, but, you know, it's all desert and we don't have anything
It's so difficult.
concrete.
I mean, we have the Harkonnens blowing up the Fremen while I'm trying to investigate them. It's so difficult. Yeah, I get it.
I was getting there and I would have had more information if not for...
If it weren't for those damned Harkonnens. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Or at least a day or so they were up. Yeah, good point. Okay, so you make the preparations to do that in the morning. While we're talking about the morning, Daphne, you spend the rest of the evening in the Harkonnen Citadel after that ordeal that you went through. What did she do in the early hours of the morning? You haven't slept yet. Most of the other houses, instead of exploring and getting lost in the Harkonnen Citadel, went to their rooms to go to sleep and get a full night's rest. You do not do that, however. So, do you actually avail yourself of some time to sleep, or do you stay up and then go rush to the meeting? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rachel, chat can't hear you apparently.
Right. So, sorry about that, chat. So to repeat, Daphne will do her normal bedtime preparations and then just lie awake in her bed, thinking and processing about everything that has happened to her over the past 3 days. And just try and make sense of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose at some point she figures out she's going to have another conversation with Norma. But the one thing that she really wants is give a good performance to the Harkonnens, well, that will cause them to underestimate her. Like, oh, she tried her best, but it just wasn't good enough. And sort of figure out which houses she should be making alliances with tomorrow morning.
You process it all, and you kind of like try to remember everybody that you met, and you try to, like, your mind automatically tries to categorize them and put them in little mental file folders, and just like okay, these people, I don't trust them. This guy who spilled his drink on me on purpose, like there's something going on there. His house is, like part of this political, very politically savvy, and they have a specialty in Canley. Like, I don't know about this guy, but I think he's trying to jump in my pants. I'm not sure. And then all these other people are just like, they're doubting their ability to help the Harkonnen, and someone want to, bail on this entire endeavor while someone's trying to stay in it. And you've already begun to appeal to one representative in particular through their religious fervor, and it seems to be working. Like they when you appeal to their religious edicts, like their eyes kind of lit up a little bit, and like, oh, a fellow worshiper, very good. Like they sort of saw a kindred spirit in you for a moment.
Just won't tell her about the heresy in the basement.
Of course. I mean, if you use your Bene Gesserit training, you may be able to manipulate somebody through those means to get them on your side, or at the very least to find information out about what they're doing. and what the Harkonnens want potentially. The time eventually comes and you're summoned by a page. A Harkonnen servant comes to your door and hands a message to your guard, and then your guards in turn buzz you in very politely, like, "Ma'am, there's your grace. There's a message that's arrived for you. The other houses are converging on the top of the citadel for this stratagem meeting."
I'll be right along. Is the message important or just that the meeting's happening?
Just the meeting is happening. Nothing urgent.
Yeah, so Daphne will make sure, like, she'll drink some extra strong melange coffee and make herself presentable.
Very good. You see the representatives that were there at the previous meeting are also all here, which includes that Nikolai guy, who is, of course, he stands up the moment you walk into the room, or rather into the open air. It's still dark outside. It's still cold. Some of these retainers of these houses, including Nikolai, are wearing like heavy coats or pelts and stuff like that to keep them warm. And they just seem to be lounging up there. The view does afford you to be able to see out into the streets of Carthag proper. So you see like empty streets where normally it's bustling ground cars and hover sleds and what have you. Instead, you just see it's like a desolate avenue, and you do see the famed Harkonnen justice when you catch a glimpse of like bodies going back and forth like this, hanging from poles that line the avenue. Beast Raban's doing. Eventually, they all sit you down and servants come out to serve you and stuff like that. And you see Nikolai's like, he stands up and he very offers to take your hand, in a very posh manner, like, "Oh, your grace, thank you for coming out and greeting all of us in this very late hour. Please join us for hors d'oeuvres." And he pulls out a seat for you and in a very gentlemanly fashion have you sit down. And he tries to sit down and sort of angle himself towards you a little bit, like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit closer to you," and try to engage in eye contact from across the table.
I'll allow it.
All right. The other representatives are all here as well. Marwen Stib of House Raunat, Nadka Zot of House Bliss, Tala Yuman of House Halden, and Nuri Randama, the one that you saved at the party, of House Chol. And she's like, "I hope you slept well. It's been quite a long week, has it not? We need to discuss things regarding this worm hunt of Raban's. What are your thoughts?"
That Raban will certainly be watching, not only to see if we succeed, but how we succeed, and the friends we make along the way.
This is a test. A test of our capabilities, you see some of them say. Yes, of course, Nikolai says. This is obviously a test by the Harkonnens to see if we can deliver on a particular endeavor, yes? This worm hunt of Raban's is, well, it's a farce, is it not? How does one destroy one of these magnificent creatures of the desert, let alone one of such enormous magnitude? Well, they say that it swallows harvesters whole. But its maw was, well, Captain Salgalat will be joining us shortly. He will tell us the details, I'm sure. And almost as if on cue, this large man walks through the threshold and is escorted by a couple of Harkonnen guards. You've seen a hollow of this guy before, and it does no justice whatsoever when you actually see him in person. When he appears, it's very much you see like he's a man who's worked in this field for a very long time. His entire body is a roadmap of scars and eroded weather that has just withered him down to what he is currently. Constant frown on his face. seems almost impetuous when he approaches the table. He doesn't. He resigns not to sit down. Instead, he's sort of leaning on what seems to be like a cane. He's very your hyper awareness is making you aware, is making you notice that he's sporting some sort of a prosthetic with his leg, and thus requires the use of some sort of walking cane, perhaps as a result of his encounter with this so-called Leviathan. And he approaches and everybody kind of hushes up, and Nikolai stands up. Oh, Captain Salgalat, we're just talking about you. Perhaps you could regale us on what your experiences were with this worm that Raban wishes to eliminate so badly. And he's like, he kind of quietly observes everybody at the table. Oh, I am so rude. Excuse me. I am, of course, Nikolai Gradimov, and I represent housekeeper in this particular matter. These other fine people, and he starts introducing, and this, of course, is the ever-radiant Daphne Cheshire of House Cheshire. The Duchess is here in attendance, representing her house as well. Please regale us of your tales, of your experiences with the worm. And finally, one of the servants brings out a chair, and he kind of eases into it. And he looks out with these haunted eyes over all of you. We were working the sands just west of the reef and Tuek's camp. No sign of the Fremen the whole day, so we kept digging, soaking up the rich spice beds there. Having heard the stories of Leviathan, we took the precautions and had our carryall on standby. So the moment our spotter called out to us with worm sign, I gave the order to activate the aerostat. You know, understand, like, he's talking about, like, the giant balloons that just sort of, like, auto-inflate and just send the harvester up in the air. The trouble was, we were carrying too much spice. Those old actuators failed and cracked under the pressure. So we never left the sand. There wasn't enough time to dump weight before the worm arrived. So I called in the Thopters to the landing pad, and we started evacuating the factory. As we made our way up, something happened out there. The worm came sooner than we thought, and the sand beneath us shifted. The world went sideways, and we slid right into the maw of that thing. I saw those sand dogs fall into the machinery or get crushed by falling debris. My own leg smashed in the process, and I had to use a cutter ray so that I can crawl out to the platform. One of the spotter thopters was still there, and they swooped in to bring me out. When I looked back, I saw the whole thing go down the gullet of that terrible monster. I have hunted game and been a captain of a harvester crew for decades. I've seen my fair share of worms and large creatures, but I've never seen anything like that before. It was like a thing out of the old scriptures and the Orange Catholic Bible. He says, Behold, the hope of him is in vain, shall not be one be cast down, even at the sight of him. His impenetrable scales, the indomitable creation is Leviathan's fire-breathing ability, and his overall indomitability. The torturous serpent will only be killed at the end of time. He's like, I have a plan to destroy that white demon, but I can't do it alone. If you will assist me, we can bring down that beast together and make a fortune on its teeth alone. Do you know how much each tooth of a sandworm is worth outside Arrakis? 1,000,000 Solaris apiece. The Fremen consider the worm and its teeth sacred, he says, and he spits on the floor. I say there is nothing more sacred than an early retirement. with me? He looks at you, Daphne.
Well, what's your plan?
I'm going to blow it to smithereens, he says. That's where we'll stop. Okay, that's all the time that we have for this session. I hope everyone here and those watching enjoyed the show. We'll continue our adventures in the Imperium next Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will go forward to reintroduce our lovely cast, beginning with Aaron.
Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron. Still, you can find me pretty much everywhere as Greg Tulu in multiple social media platforms that don't include Twitter, but they do still include Twitter. But you know, there's other Tumblr. Come to Tumblr. Anyways, I was playing Eloise Cheshire tonight. You can next find me so kind of tomorrow. My friend Plink Smallcraw is doing a little battle of VTubers. So I'll be fighting for the cream of the crop, the top, in a battle of VTubers on her channel tomorrow. And then Thursday I'll be over at my lovely partner Dre LaFay's channel playing Grounded.
Nice. Devin.
Oh yeah. I am Devin. You can find me online on the Bird app until it is no more at Sorta Sullied. And next time you will see me will be here on Monday for some Dragon Age.
Key.
Hello, I'm Kisama. I've been Pardot Reed. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama and behind a Denny's near you.
Thank you. Ambrose.
Hello, I'm Ambrose, and I have cat. You can find me all over the internet as Sam Changeling, and on Etsy at Thornkind, and holding a cat, and you can find me playing again in Dragon Age on Monday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then translate whatever that time is for you in Google. It's my best friend.
Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. Leo of the Black on the World Wide Web here on Twitch. Usually what I do is I stream on Sundays, starting at around 1 o'clock. I don't know. It's been really hit or miss with me lately, but I am looking to get back on schedule. Anyways, today I played Archibald, and my nerves, like, it is so, like, it takes years off my life playing this character, by the way, guys. I'm doing this for you.
For the fans. Do it for the fans.
For the fans.
Thank you. And last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Oh, my name is Rachel. I am Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet, including YouTube, where you can watch archived videos of these, and the Bird app, and co-host, and MySpace? What timeline are we in?
Question marks.
Yeah. You will see me, yes, on Monday as I run Dragon Age Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice, a story of the Fourth Blight. And then after that, I will not be there, but we will have Strahd. She is the Ancient. It's a really cool mod. It'll be run by my friend Chloe. And then if you come by here on Wednesdays, I will be streaming Dragon Age 2. Yeah.
Excellent. I've been Eric at Modern Recluse Online. You can find me back here on Friday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this. Big thanks, as always, to our viewers and fans for tuning in. And remember, never sit with your back to the wall. Always, never sit with your back to the wall. Always remember your shield emitter and be careful who you trust. For in the game of houses, nothing is truly as it seems. Good night, everybody.